Yeah, been sun gazing. It's so cool. Goes down a little faster than it did in Florida because I could watch the green light go in Florida. But it's really kind of cool because it's like it just prisms. The effects are amazing, especially if you don't have your glasses on. But it's just one of those energy sources that we really should take advantage of. Not by the heat of the day, though, because then that could be semi-dangerous and treacherous, especially with chemtrails in the air. You don't want to be out to a certain time. It could cause and create an issue that you might not like later. I tell you what, stepping on blacktop for how many years, selling herbs and getting toxic by the fumes, etc. The sun and I don't get along, and I don't like that. I'm not happy with that at all. Nope. But this is a new moon after the eclipse of May 20th. And so what seeds got planted? Does anybody remember what seeds they planted? Do we have an idea of what we manifest just because of what our behavior is, what our thoughts, our words, our deeds? Do we even get the drift, you know? That so many things are because we've asked for them, okay? We might not have asked in this lifetime because we don't really have a clue always. But it's like you gotta think we have past lifetimes, because why do I like chocolate so much? And how come I only like to eat food of this kind? And how come that smell seems so familiar when I haven't really smelled that smell before? Where is it? La 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 la. So there's so much that we are using in our consciousness from our subconsciousness of times ago. Very ago. I think that's about done on the sun. So very ago's. Just to the idea, oh that's cool. Just to the idea of, do we have a clue? I gotta show you the clouds, they're really cool. They are really cool. Look at these clouds. Aren't they pretty? Oh, and there's birds flying. Am I going to be able to catch them? No, I couldn't catch them. But yeah, things can be so miraculously beautiful if you just look up. And you know, even if they are chemtrail clouds, I still think they look kind of cool. Now we got some birds flying around collecting mosquitoes, thank goodness. Kind of wish they were bats, but what we've done to our planet has not been like generous to her at all, or kind. We've been a taking kind of group, not a giving kind of group. Humans. I twist these little copper trees, and basically I was trying to look for an explanation of what the copper trees for a tree of life kind of story. Well, I've gone through 4 books and I'm getting the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah. Everything is the Kabbalah, which are the 7 chakras and many other areas that we learn to circulate and to use in our existence called life. Honor, discipline, living as everything is important, like these rocks that I got out of some dirt. Sweetheart sent me, a good friend, and basically these are important too. Not just the dirt I got, but these that I got out of the dirt. Some of these are just something else. I have really the thought that this could be close to a sapphire or a ruby, but I don't know, because some of these rocks, I'm not quite used to these North Carolina rocks like I used to be in Florida. Different rocks. So everything is made up of elements, and that's part of the Kabbalah too. But what I was trying to get at is this is a new moon day, which means everything has a fresh start. But because it's in Gemini and the solar's in Gemini, that means that there might be a lot of inner venting, vesting, recalibrating, you know, having the idea of how we structure life through all kinds of things. Through our past behaviors, through our subconscious, through the big main conscious frame. You know, it's all computer generated because that's what we are. We're, you know, it's interesting to really realize that we're all holograms, and that the five senses is what makes us different than everything else, and that everything is really a solid because we think it is a solid, when so much can be transversed, that if you can relate and relax and become part of it, you can manifest discipline and keep your duty to maintain it and keep it calm. Yeah, I have a little extra because of some asbestos. I was cleaning off the wires. And I'm just going to have to deal with this. Everybody can say, oh, it's from your smoking. It's from... There is so much in our environment that I have to constantly work out because we are still here. We are not somewhere else. I don't know if you can see me straight. There we go. You know, we're in this third dimension, which is basically mineral. Okay, etherical is the outside, so it's animal, vegetable, and mineral. It's been that long. Animal, vegetable, and mineral. And then the plants. That's, I guess, vegetable, right? So, we are part of that as well, and we are sharing that. And that is why sometimes we can go ahead and ingest it, need it, and use it to our benefit, because we're trying to have that vibration. That's why they did all the old ceremonies in the Celtic times and things like that. Because, say, if one had to go out and get a deer, well, they had to get in their psyche and their vibrations about the deer, almost becoming one with the deer so they can go and get it, so they have something to eat. It's all a manner of meditating and vegging to the moment. Kind of like just being in the now. And don't judge it. Just know that the universe and divine right order, which is God's sense, if anybody wants to care, or source. To me, it's source. That's part of the Kabbalah too. And it's all an energy frame. It's how we utilize our degrees. Everybody's got them. See, that's the whole thing. The Jewish people way back when, because this was like 917th century. And they were all without the rest of this conscious sense. So they were back in a time and an era where they could just manifest and use what they had around them. It's the same with us. But now we know that certain things are certain ways because of certain reasons. And so we can manipulate them different than they were manipulated way back when. And so that is basically where the seeds got started. And I'm thinking for the tree of life, because you got to plant the seeds, and then once the stem comes up, or the trunk, then the branches come, and it's actually to reach the highest source, so then you can gather from that highest source. Just like the sun that we were seeing, they would utilize that for the energy of the rays, so that the animal, vegetable, and mineral can grow. And it'd be the same with us. But we do have to remember we're living in the 21st century, and we haven't planted all good seeds. And so some things have come up not so nice and generous. We have been taking. We have to quit taking. We have to start recycling, and really recycle. And the biggest and best thing is first don't make the mess. Then you don't have to clean it up. But there's a lot of people who actually made a bigger mess that is going to be just one of those, alright, get it right to clean it up. So anyway, let me get back to that. Okay, the eclipse that happened in May in Taurus was also tilling the soil for the seeds to get planted. The seeds got planted May 20th. Now we're in the Gemini solar and lunar new moon, which means new beginnings. Everything now until the full moon is a growth cycle. It is a cycle of producing. If you cut off the top of a plant so it will grow within 2 weeks, it'll be 2 pieces instead of that 1 piece. And then you could probably root that top piece, depending on the plant, and create a new plant. Now, I'm just versed in herbs more than anything else. So on a tree, you might not want to do that. So just understand that what happened May 20th during the eclipse, now you're getting the idea of how to take care of it. It's all a study of factor. It's going within and studying your own self as much as it is studying anything outside yourself. How do you react to these things? How can you get and cleanse the body? That's part of the Kabbalah thing too. To reach God, Creator Source, is to make sure that you're as clean as you can be. That's body, mind, and spirit. I mean, the soul's alright, and the spirit knows more than you do, but the ego, which is sometimes more the mind than we want to know, takes you off on other things. Like right now, if the phone rang, somebody might think, oh, you better get up and answer the phone. No, I have call thingy. So I can tell who's calling the phone. I don't have to get up and rush to see, oh, who's there. I'd rather commute with the birds out here and communicate knowing that the trees are doing their duty, and I give big thanks for them doing their duty. And again, I'm still looking. I'm trying to think of a tree of life, and they keep coming back to the Kabbalah. There's more than that to the tree of life. I'll have to check my tarot deck. That might tell me. One of my tarot decks. The tree of life. But the seeds were planted in May. This knowledge of what to do with these seeds now that they've sprouted. And are they healthy? If not, pull them out. Get them out of there. Weed through everything. And do a little fertilizing, which would be self-honor and duty to yourself. And basically, not trying, but to be who you really are inside. Not the ego one that has to make sure their eyebrows are plucked real good, and, you know, that they made sure that they showered before they go anywhere or whichever, but just to the idea, when you present yourself in the truest form, and now is the time that you're going to find your truer form. Not all of it's going to be pretty, which is fine, but the whole thing is make it pretty. Change your perspective, see it in a different dimensional viewpoint, okay? From within is good, but like, I could have my hopes up. I don't have my hopes up right now, because it all is because of what it's going to be, because of what it is. Not the way I want it, not the way I think it should be, but that doesn't mean that things won't happen because of the seeds that got planted, because the earth is always in transition. It's always either decomposing or bringing up new, like with the grass growing, because of the decomposition of the soil. So right now, the rows have been placed, the seeds have been planted, your garden is getting ready to bust open with all kinds of things that, yeah, you might have to do this a few times. Write this stuff down that's really irritating you, getting in your way, you know, any realities that just aren't working. Any realities at all that just aren't working. But know that you don't know your own best interest. You don't know why you're here going through this or doing all this or whichever, except astrologically there is a clock that ticks and things are always in change and transition. And you can be too from within if you know it's for the y'all. Not just yourself, but for everything. Because once you become that happy, joy, and trying to live the best that you can live, then everything around you comes up and does that too. So you don't get the aggravation. You don't get the confrontations. You don't get the expectations. And just know that it's all in change. Nothing is ever going to stay the same. Like I said, that clock keeps ticking. It just keeps going. And right now it's in Gemini, which should be over here. Because everything as above is opposite of what it is down here, astrologically. So, I had a friend who kept asking, but what about Cancer? Well, what about Cancer? Well, if you do the whole chart, and we figured this out, it'd be alright. But the spirit and the soul have different agendas than just what the animal and mineral and vegetable of your human being, which would be your astrological chart. So always know you're never going to know it all. Never. You're never going to know it all. It's just one heck of an interesting, fun ride. Now the sun's down over the mountains. The mountains. The beautiful mountains here in North Carolina. And then the clouds and the new moon, so it'll be dark out tonight, not bright. And basically that whatever seeds I know I got planted on the 20th are in their time of hopefully being nurtured correctly, fed properly, enough sunshine and water, and in the right direction of where it's supposed to go. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess of whatever. And that's okay by me too. And it should be okay by you guys too. Just don't take any of it personally, because it's the will of Creator. You might think you have free will, but that's just the choice of how you react to what that will is. And if it's a confrontation, that means you're not working with the source. You're not letting it manifest what needs to be respected and honored and duty. Okay? Because that's usually basically what we are, is that. I might type in the other things since we're getting to the Kabbalah thing. But just know right now, let go of anything that is getting in your way, anything that's an expectation that just, it doesn't matter. It's not your way, it's Creator's way. And to basically just enjoy the moments. Let things be an adventure, a playtime, a party, to the idea of do what you love in your heart that excites you. Don't try to do things that aggravate and create pain or discomfort, because it just will create more pain and discomfort, and you don't need to go there. If by chance the veil is getting thin for people because their psychic openings are getting jarred, breath. Breath is your biggest thing. I mean, breathe all the way down to your toes. Get them lungs moving down all the way to your toes. And exhale slowly through your mouth with love on your tongue through those exhales. And you'll see a big difference in how you're feeling, how you're vibing with other people or animals. Anything. You know, veggies too. Your plants grow. There's a reason. If they're growing healthy and happy, then you're giving them everything they need. Same with your pets. Same with yourself. So honor yourself. Give yourself some good food, some good sunshine, some purifying water, and the conscious ether. Accept yourself from above. Accept your God Christ self. Because this is what we need to connect to help Mother Earth ascend, and the animal, plant, and mineral, and all the other dimensions, so we can all sail through these big karmic changes that humanity has created. Oh, jeez. That's really kind of interesting. And I forgive them. I forgive them all. I forgive them all for taking instead of giving. We do, and we can, and we are the change. So, create to the best joy, happiness, and heaven you can manifest. No expectations, no ideologies, no none of that. See, my battery is going low, so I was checking my... Is the lens still open? Yes, the lens is still open. So, for whatever Mother Earth is going through, wrap her in a big pink blanket of love. And that's the best right now we can do to even manifest some peace for her, because she's going through a lot of changes. She needs all our love we can give her. Mother Earth is what's supporting us. We need to have respect and love for her. Peace, guys. Out. I hope you enjoyed the sun. I'll give you a little before we go. It's down over the mountains. You won't be able to see it. Let's see. Maybe if I stand up. It really is a pretty picture, though. It's not going to focus. Can I go out? Will it focus if I go out? It's not going to go out. It'll get bigger. Oh, there we go. Whoops. That's kind of cool. So just think, we're all fractal parted that. And all we can do is love and enjoy and keep it safe. So, later. Ciao. Out.